So now we are moving on to the next session, which is going to be handled by Dr. Zayul Haku Chowdhury, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Technology, Vignam University, Kantur, Andhra Pradesh, India. So Dr. Zayul received his bachelor's degree in computer science from the Bharatidasan University, Trichy. He did his MSc in Information Technology, Department of Computer Science and Engineering from the Annamalai University. Also, he received his Master in Research in Information Technology from B.S. Abdul Rahman University, Chennai. He received his PhD degree in Information Technology from the same B.S. Abdul Rahman Crescent Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai. His area of interest include biometrics, image processing, cryptography, network security, artificial intelligence, and deep learning. We are very much happy to have you among us, sir. Handing over the session to you.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you for giving me for this opportunity to the Lavender Literary Club. So today I am going to talk about research writing, editing, and publishing. So here I have only important 2 points, that is writing a research paper and publishing a research paper in scientific way. So generally, can you hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So generally we have research structures which contains titles, then abstracts, introductions, body part, discussion, and the references. Generally body part, it contains like a methodology and experimental results. When we come about discussions, is nothing but it is a conclusions. So these are the structure of a research paper. So generally when we look into the research paper, when we search in the Google or from any IEEE translation or Springer or any other journal sites, when we search a research paper, we search using the title or keywords. So first we look what is the relevant paper and what is the title, and we go through the abstract, whether it is relevant to us, whether this work is important for the particular persons or not. We look. Usually we look at which is relevant to us or not. So when we look the research paper, it is gives the impressions through the title as well as the abstracts. When the title is attracted towards the readers and the abstract is attracted towards the readers, so definitely they'll go through the entire paper and they read it. So most importantly here, we need to impress firstly the title of the research paper, and secondly we need to impress in abstract writing. So now how to impress the title of a research paper. So here generally when I go through some survey on that, finds that most of the people read titles, and then few of them people read only abstract, and few of them people the text. So majority of the people, they go through the deeply in the titles. They don't go through everything. So the crafting a great title. How we'll make a great title? So generally when we make a title of a research paper, we should not include unnecessary content on that or unnecessary word, which is similar to a keyword. Very important word we have to put which is relevant to our word, and the frame and sentence should be in a proper way, which should be proper English grammar process. So, and on that title we should not keep any kind of short form, that is abbreviations or something like that. We should not give on that. We have to give complete meaningful in a single line or single statements. We have to give in a one line or maximum 1.5 lines. The abstracts that titles must contain and meaningful your relevant words. That is how we need to make a title. So after that, we required how to write an effective titles. So that actually on that we need the clarity, engaging and focused. So we need to focus what kind of we are doing the research work. What is the conclusion of our research work? What is the actual meaning is providing the research work? That everything should carry the single that in the title itself. The once reader read the titles, he should analyze that, he should be able to analyze that the word is this relevant or this word is this meaningful is giving. So it is relevant to us. Such a way the reader should think. So some of the things we need to avoid from the titles, which is abbreviations, acronyms. These things we should not use in the titles, so that a reader will do not confuse on that. If you put abbreviations, definitely reader will confuse on that. So that because of that, we should not put any abbreviations or acronyms in the title. So whenever we write a research paper, whenever we make a research paper, based on the abstract, we have to provide the keywords. So the keywords is the key. The whenever search in Google search engine by the researcher or any other users, the keywords only giving the source of the particular research work, which is allowing to search in the search engine the relevant which is available. The keyword is the best role to get the or access by a user the particular research paper, so that the user can search easily. As well as also benefit is that if you are giving proper relevant keyword with your research work, minimum to 5, 6 or more than that, if you are able to give that, so number of people whenever cite it, they will find your paper. Also you will get the citation if they cite it. So because of that keyword giving providing in the research paper, which is very important, it should be completely relevant with our research work. It should not be irrelevant, which is very, very important points. Now talking about the abstract. Abstract is nothing but a mini version of your research work, which tells entire work of your, suppose your research paper contains 10, 20 pages, or you have a number of experiments done, many pages, more than 30, even though if you contain, your abstract gives entire information on that. Even it gives your results. It tells the past, some of the survey, then drawback, and then why you are doing, as well as what methodology you are using after applying, what kind of result you are getting. This whole process, whole entire work is displayed in your abstract. So whenever we write the abstract, should be very, very careful that our content, entire content or methodology or all techniques, all the results should be reflected on the abstract. That is very important. Whenever a reader or researcher read that research paper, they first go through the title. Once title is relevant, then they go through the abstract, whether what methodology have used on this paper. whether this is relevant to us, how important this effective or how effective this work is. They go through the abstract. Once the abstract is impressed, then the person go through introductions and methodology, even discussions, all the things they have to go through there. Then they read entire work and they acquire the knowledge from it. Then only we are getting citations or citing by others. So abstract here is very, very important. It should provide complete meaningful to others. So see, these are the some important points which contains in the abstracts. That is motivations, problems, solutions, results, then implications. These are the points which contain in the abstract.
Sir, your
Which is,
slide is not moving on, sir.
it is not moving. Just a minute.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Can you see now? Is it
Yes,
moving?
sir.
Is it moving?
Yes, sir.
So I was talking. No, is it moving these slides?
No, sir.
No.
You are in page number 11, sir.
Now it is moving.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Is it moving now?
It is slide number 11.
Still slide number 11.
Yes, sir.
Here is what.
Now we can see slide number 10.
Now
Now it got stuck, sir. Yeah, it's moving, sir.
it's moving.
Yeah, it is moving, sir.
So I talk about the abstracts. Now I am going to talk about introductions part. Actually, I have here I have talked of whatever here. I have moved almost 10 11 slides. Well, okay. So once complete the abstracts, once the readers they hear or like the abstracts, then it goes to the introduction, right? So introduction is one of the main source of the research which tells what actually has done some of the past, and this in the past some of the drawback which shows, as well as what actually from the drawback what actually you are trying to do some new concept, and also it tells the entire structure of the paper. So introduction is one of the main role here to attract another. So when reader go through the introductions, first he read the relevant sum of the work and some of the background of the research work, which is finds in the introduction parts. Then he able to read the some of the analytics on that, where is the some drawback in the past or some other correlated works which is not sufficient in the past. So this kind of some work or some data which is able to read on that introductions, and in that it contains some of the portions which is saying by saying that because of the previous drawback, the new, I mean on this on that research work, some introduce, I mean some new invention or discovery, whatever it is carrying or which is introducing by the author on that particular research paper. And also in the end of that introduction, it must conclude that by saying that what are the subtopics contained in the research work, which has to be displayed on the introduction part, so that a reader should be able to analyze what are the topics which is carried forward in this research article. So it is very, very important. So now after introductions, one of the main role which is any reviewer go through that is body of the part, which is generally we say some of the research, scientific research we say that is methodology. Then it comes to the results and discussion. This both of that carry forward in the body of the research work. So the body of the research work, actually what kind of methodology you are using, what are the concepts you are using on that to get the desired output, and what are the process has been done, that everything has been discussed on the body of the part, that is in methodology. So after defining methodology, the results and discussion has been discussed in the body of the part, which contains the experiment after whatever results you are got, that has to be displayed on the results and discussions. So on that case, the based on the, if you are completely innovative doing means comparison is very less. You need to just show some of the results which by saying that you have achieved this much accuracy. But if you are implementing from some other, then definitely you have to show your proposed method is achieved better than others by comparing in the result and discussion. Each and every step you have to reflect it, so that everything is carried forward in the body of the part. So a reader once attracted the research paper, they deeply go through in the body of the part. Actually, what terminology, what method, what concept have been used by this researcher or research person or researcher, what is the technique that he has used, and what are the results he got, what achievement he got, everything he deeply go through on that particular body of the part. So in the body of the part, we have different types, which we call, that is empirical papers, case study papers, methodology papers, theory papers. So body of the part, which is not same in all the things. Some of the different. If you do some case study, there will be a difference. If you do empirical study, then it is a different. If you do methodological or scientific work, it is different. If you do theoretical, there is a difference. So body part contains almost similar but somewhat different by expressions. So when we talk about the discussion, it's nothing but conclusion. Generally we talk, but some of the author they write as a discussion and conclusion, or generally present day we write simply conclusion. So conclusion carry some of the informations which is recalling what you have done from that or what others done, that all carry forward on the conclusion as well as summary of your result, which is achieved. Also sometimes some of the author they write in the conclusions some of the future relevant works in the conclusion. So conclusion and abstracts both are very important in the research work to reflect others. So the conclusion part is also one of the biggest part to reflect others. Okay, so because it has to deliver on your whole work and achievements as well as some of the future works. So that is very, very important in the discussion or conclusion sections. So after that it comes references. So in the case of references, generally we cite name, year, and then alphabet numbers, citations of other system, similar way we cite. But present day, this is in past times we have cited before 1983 in this way. But present day, we must follow some of the references by saying APA style, MLA style, Chicago style, CB style, and many more. We have these are the reference citations, which is follows based on the journal, which journal you are going to publish. They mention their reference citation style. Based on that, you need to follow step by step. If they mention APA style, you need to follow entire citation as APA style. If they are mentioning as MLA style, you need to follow your reference. Entire reference should be a MLA style. This is one of the best part in the research, that if you cite more and more, your research content is strong. If you cite less in your work in any research article, that shows that is you have done weak survey. So whenever we do the introduction, at that time we also include some of the survey on that. And generally some of the research scholars do separately literature survey separately on the particular research paper. But more generally you can include in the introduction itself some of the survey. So when you include survey in the introductions, definitely you have to include more and more references. So references is one of the important part for a research paper writing. So when we talk about the publishing, we have a generally conference, journal, or book editor. Generally when we talk about the scientific papers, either you can publish in conference or a journal or in book publishing. So these are the process we have to publish our research work. Generally we publish in conference either or in journal. Book and editors, most probably few of them only publish. That is sometimes not considered as a research work. Sometimes in the thesis, some of the universities do not accept that. So once when we complete our research work, scientific paper, when we try to communicate it, at a time it goes to scientific quality management, which is nothing but the editors, associate editors, this all. When we communicate it, we have some process, which is depends on the journal, what kind of journal. Where if you are communicating in a best journal, scientific journal, which is with the highest impact factor, then they have a double blind review. It just depends on what kind of journal you are communicating. Sometimes you have a blind review, and some of the journal it have a double blind reviews. So when you communicate, you have to decide that what kind of a journal required, what kind of indexing or journal indexing is required. So based on that only, but each and every journal have different patterns. They have different review systems. Suppose blind review means it is known by the author who is the reviewer, who is the author, but the author do not know who is reviewer. When double blind it comes, the author also do not know who is review, even reviewers also do not know who is the author. So this is the process is structured when we submit our papers either in conference or in journal. So this is the complete structure of communications and up to acceptance. First is submitting by the author the research paper, then it goes to the editorial selection, editorial board, that is editorial pre-selection persons, it goes to that editorial board. Then they have decided this work is whether genuine or this work is suitable for publishing in our journal or in this journal. So they, after decision, if it is not suitable, then they have to reject it. They reject it. After submission, maybe within a week they will reject it. If the process is success, then it goes for reviewer. So generally, when you submit in a journal, inside you can see that under process with the editor, and then finally it goes to the under review. So once it goes under review means it is assigned to the reviewer. It is review process is started. So reviews, once reviewer process is started, they do either double or triple. They send multiple people for reviewing. At least minimum 2 persons do the revision. So they send the research paper revision purpose to the reviewer. After their decisions, their comments, it come back to the again editor. Then they decide whether this paper, based on the reviewer comments, if both the reviewers say that minor corrections or both the revision say it is accepted, or some of the with minor correction accepted, then the editor will decide that revised paper with acceptance. Then that will be process again another process. If the both of the reviewers say that rejected, or one of them say they rejected, another say the revision with accepted, then the again decision has taken by the editor whether it should accept or reject. So it depends on the editor. If the editor is good, then again he will send another one more reviewer for referee purpose. Then he will take a chance from that what decision is coming. So if both again that person also giving a feedback by saying that reject the paper, then completely rejected. If that person also again saying, another reviewer also again saying accept with revision, then with the particular comments, 2 reviewer comments or 3 reviewer comments, it will send back to the author, and by saying that you have a 2 months time that you have to revise this paper and submit within the time period. The author has to follow the structure, whatever the journal system, whatever the question is came, it has to be replied proper way in the new version of the research paper, not in old version. In the same paper, you need to modify and you need to reply each and every, whatever the based on the questions. If it is required modify, you need to modify. If only question asked, then you need to reply in a separate form. If they are asking change the methodology, then you need to change it. The all processes depends what kind of reviewer comment has came. After that, you need to you are going to submit again to the journal. Then journal people again send to the reviewer, the person who reviewed it. Then if they satisfied, then finally the editor decides the acceptance. If not satisfied, again in that case also they can reject it. So this is how process is going. Then finally acceptance. If it is acceptance, then it goes to the camera ready paper. That means the products, it goes to the production people. The production people will go through your paper one by one. Where is the correct, any grammatical error is there, any sentence error is there, or any other mismatch is there, any formula is missing is there, or not matching is there, any diagram is missing or problem is there, any word, any diagram is unclear, or any table is problem. Everything line by line they check, and they will again ask to the author whether it is correct or not, check it. They will ask at least 40 to 50 questions again. So at that moment, the author has to go through very seriously one by one. If he do not change anything, it will become online without changing. So he have a chance to change in the paper any small modification. Even he cannot change everything, but he can change where is there any mistake or any other is there. He can do that based on the comments. Based on the camera ready paper which is sent by the production team. Once the process is done, then finally submitted to the publisher, the production team publisher. Then after that, finally it comes to the online. So this is how the publication process happens. So what is the main structure? Means here the paper has to be innovative, and title and abstract should be very relative with your work, and it should be attracted to the reader as well as your works should be innovative, and only your paper will be accepted in the higher journal, essay index or essay index journal, or even maybe in the science, or even maybe in nature. Definitely they will accept your paper. So this is the how the research work is processed until the acceptance and up to publications. So thank you. If you have any question, you can ask.
Sir, I would like to clarify one doubt. If you permit me, then I'll ask one question, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Sir, regarding the publishing article, supposing I have published one article in one journal, and then I would like to publish another my article in another journal, and then if I copy some portion from my previous article, and if I put it in the next article, will it come under plagiarism, sir?
You are going to copy whether methodology or results.
Supposing from the
It depends. If you are copying the methodology, definitely it is a self-plagiarism. If you are copying the result, definitely it won't accept. It is also self-plagiarism. But your relevant work, if you are copying some of the person from the introductions, that might not affect much. But if you are copying methodology and the experimental result, definitely it is a plagiarism.
Oh, definitely, I will not copy the result part. That is obvious. But the thing is, supposing if I copy some portion from the introduction, or say like body part, then or background.
That is what I'm saying. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, supposing if I copy something from introduction or literature review, so will it be coming
No,
under
literature
plagiarism?
review copying is not much effect. Literature review everybody has to do, right? So literature review copying is not an much issue. Your own self-plagiarism, but it is not an issue. Main issue comes when you copy the methodology same and results same.
Okay, sir.
Even if you work, if you are try to do similar work with that research work, and if you are able to achieve better with the new algorithm, then it is not considered as a plagiarism. You can, but you need to cite it. You have to elaborate it where you compare whether what method you have borrowed or where from you borrowed. Everything you need to elaborate it. But if you are exactly copying body part from other, and then you are again redesigning another paper, then it is plagiarism. But
Okay,
introduction part, literature survey part, copy must not affect.
But sometimes it so happens, sir, in case of diagram or picture, when I copy from my previous article and I put it in the next article, it shows the maximum percentage of plagiarism, sir.
Well, this image also you should not copy. Image means there is result, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So results you cannot copy it. Results, if you are copying, definitely it is a plagiarism.
Okay, sir. So generally, for a subject like physics, to publish in a good journal, how much it is admissible, sir, percentage for the subject of physics?
I think physics have a more opportunity to publish in good journals, like
Okay,
like some publishers just like elsewhere, Springer. But the thing is that
Okay,
rate of acceptance is 10 some of the journals.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for giving me the clarification and the related information. So thank you so much, sir.
Anybody has any more clarifications?
Yeah, good evening, sir. Sir, there's a small doubt, like how to identify the authenticity of journals. I mean, in the year 2019, it's authentic and we can publish in the so and so journal. But after a few years, we find that it's not authentic. So how can we how should we overcome this problem?
That means you are talking about predatory journal.
Sir?
You are talking about predatory journal.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So you need to look in Simigo, right? SCIMAGO, that is Simigo. You need to look on that. You need to look what is the rating on that.
Okay.
Plus how many years they are in the Scopus or Scopus index.
Mhm.
Their H index, you need to look everything. Okay, if the H index is good, yeah, if their H index is good, then definitely there is a less chance for becoming predatory. If their H index is less, then there is a problem. But if you go with the good journal, just like a good publisher, just like Tyler Francis, Springer, Emerald, or Inter Science, elsewhere, a similar way, if you go at least Scopus index, then there you won't face such kind of problem. Instead of going some unknown publisher, at least known publisher you can go it. Then it won't have any problem. But if you go with unknown publisher, then there is a big problem. So no one can guarantee. But H index is high, then it won't have any problem. But in the future, it may be a big.
Yeah, okay, sir. Thank you for the clarity. In few journals, we find that they just convey that it is around 5 to 8 years, but later on, when we identify that it's no more reputed.
Yeah, ma'am. It happens because they accept many unscientific papers. Okay.
Yeah.
Because of that, the Scopus committee is removing them from them. Okay.
Yes.
From their committee.
Yeah,
Because of that, it becomes predatory. That
Mhm.
is the reason my suggestion is whenever you look paper research, I mean publishing means you look some reputed journal. Okay.
Yes,
Then it
sir.
won't have any problem.
Yeah, sure. sir.
And look first H index. What is the H index for the journal? That is very, very important.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.